You running off, child.
Yeah.
Have you ever wondered what goes bump in the night? What could be lurking round the corner? What shadows are waiting for us in the dark? Why we feel like we are being watched by the mysterious eyes of an unknown entity? When all rational explanations have been exhausted, it only leaves one explanation: the paranormal. Take a journey into the realm of the paranormal with your hosts, Damon, Penney, and Ben Winfield. We explore all things paranormal, from mediums to apparitions, from orbs to the occult, from demons to angels, and everything in between. So strap in and join us as we explore into the unknown. And don't forget, things can get a little strange. The Other Dimension Show, on Pulse Talk Radio.
Hello everybody and welcome along. It's that time again. Yes, I am back. The Paranormal Viking, Damon, Penney, back on the Other Dimension, and I'm joined by our administrator and Ben's partner in crime. We're joined by Lou tonight. Because
I know, I did think
Ben's
about
out on
like tying up.
investigation. He has abandoned us.
He has. Yeah, I was going to tie up my hair, try and like get a bit of facial hair going off and pretend to be Ben. But
No.
yeah, I didn't. Yeah, Ben's gone off into the wild. Oh, you're just breaking up again there.
To get a little bit freaky, we're going to go off the cuff. So if anyone's got any connection problems.
Oh, you just froze a bit there, Damon.
Yeah, I know. I'm having to do it on my phone because the laptop has just decided not to work at all. Bear in mind, it's only like 6 months old, and it's just gone up in Swanee. I'm stressing myself out trying to get it working. So I thought, you know what? I've got Apple iPhone 13. If it don't work on that, I give up. I literally give up with life. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Welcome along to the Other Dimension. I am back. Yes, I know I've been away for a little while. I don't know how long I'm back for. Other things in the pipeline, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully I'm back for a little bit longer this time. A little bit longer.
Would be nice. Yeah.
See what happens.
Hi, Jacqueline.
This time it's a bit. Hi, Jack. How you doing? It's a bit different this time. I've got other things going on, but I thought I'm coming back. Let's just have it large. And yeah, I've been busy though, Lou. Look.
Yeah. Very nice.
I've been doing my drawings. Yeah.
Aw. That's good.
So how's the show been
Move
about?
the camera closer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you froze a bit.
I don't feel if I can get it actually. Oh. How about that? They're only little ones though. Hi, Ben arrived safely. How you doing, Andrew? Welcome along. Guys, if we're having any technical problems, it's completely my fault. It's nothing to do with Lou, right? I'm trying to string this on my phone because the laptop's broken, right? But anyway, it's crazy.
Oh, dear.
So, where's Ben gone tonight, Lou? Where is he investigating tonight?
Ben's gone up to Buxton. It's a case that we got called into last October. And yeah, so he's doing a bit of a follow-up on it now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That sounds cool. That does sound cool. I mean, I've been watching from behind the scenes, and there's been a lot of cases, and a lot of the shows are really cool now. Like we're on YouTube now as well, thanks to Josh the Explorer. He's got on YouTube. So out to Josh and the crew. You guys got to go and meet him, which is like I'm proper jealous about. No one wants the Viking weird-looking dude. Everyone wants Ben and you. So.
Oh no, I didn't get to go either because it was a school night, so I stayed at home with Evie. And Ben didn't get back until like 2 past 2 that night.
It's such a glory honor.
Yeah, what's this? We're
Shout
going to
out
mock
to Charles
Ken now.
Wright. Out to everyone. Out to everyone in Texas. Welcome along. Wow, we're reaching distances. Now,
Yeah.
everybody's asking, with Pulse Talk Radio, bear with us on that one as well, because I can't stream Pulse from the mobile phone. I need a laptop, so bear with us on that one. But me and Lou are going to come. We're going to do an AMA. Anything you guys want us to talk about tonight, just hit it up there in the chat. Me and Lou have a chat about it. What else have I got to do? I had a list in my mind. Right. Add to Gemma Bradfield. Saying, "Hey, Dark Lady." I think that's for you, Lou. Definitely ain't for me.
Well, if you want to go by the Dark Lady, on a Friday night,
I can identify what I like as long as I got the right pronouns. I'm not even going to go there on that one. But, yeah, what was it I've got to do? Right. Big shouts out to everyone in the Ukraine supporting you guys. Hopefully, know what is happening over there is really bad. And if I could go out there and fight for you, I would. But I don't even own a passport. But, man, big ups to the Ukrainian guys. You guys are doing so much over there. That's one thing. What was the other thing I wanted to do? Something else I wanted to do. Oh, right, guys. Go over and check out the official sponsors for the page. I know Ben and Lou have been doing a lot of work behind the scenes with the page that they've got going where they're selling all their goods and that. So make sure you go and check that out. Also, the pictures that you see behind me, I'm going to be uploading pictures of them soon. They're going to be going up for sale. Trust me, they're not even going to be that expensive. So if you want one, jump on it. Right, so let's get into the show.
Are they signed? Signed, limited edition. Number them.
What they call it. Yeah. You will not, honestly, you will not find two of the same. I'll show you one I'm working on at the moment. This is one I'm working on at the moment. That's one I've been working on at the moment.
Ooh.
And they're all on canvas, and they're all signed, and they're one of a kind, but only in black and white. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm joining the Viking thing at the moment.
I have so much going on in my mind.
Look, Damon. Put my Viking on.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's quality. Now, since I've been away, I've been reading a lot of stuff online about paranormal and that. It seems like to me at the moment there's a lot of well, I don't know how to put this in a way where I don't sound like a complete idiot. There's a lot of bickering and fighting going on in the paranormal world at the moment. It is quite disappointing to see that. We're all aiming for the same thing. We're all going for the same sort of, we all want to prove that existence, but there's a lot of fighting. And a lot of it seems to be over ways in which teams do things and ways in which people investigate. I mean, Lou, you've been out and investigated a lot. You and Ben go out a lot.
Yeah.
There are different ways of doing things, and there is no right or wrong way, is there?
Only thing I'd say it's wrong to do, is my opinion, is to provoke. Is because you're going into somewhere where you don't live. Other spirits may class that as home. Don't start shouting the odds at them. That's the only thing I say. But other than that,
yeah,
go for it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you're not going to walk into somebody's house and start shouting abuse at them and going, "Come on in, let's have it." You're not going to go in and start doing all that. So it goes with the same thing with the paranormal, But I've seen a lot of good evidence going out there. I've seen a lot of good stuff. I'll tell you, I did read something really cool the other day, actually. I was reading, I don't know, I've got this paranormal blog that I go on, and I was reading that, and someone has caught, it's weird, it was in Mexico, it come towards the screen, it looked like a half man, half wolf thing. And it was like, I was like, wow, that's a really good bit of evidence.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
You have frozen.
There we go.
We can hear you. You're just frozen.
Yes. Actually, Lou, I want to talk to you about something that's quite cool. Have you heard of a phenomenon called sky trumpets?
I have. I don't know much about it because I remember asking Ben when I heard the phrase. I've not heard them, no. Not that I know of.
They are the most scariest thing. They're the most scariest thing I've ever heard. If anybody out there wants to find out about, I can't disclose any more information than it's absolutely terrifying, right? But because I don't know what it is. The scientists say that it's something to do with the like an atmospheric earthquake, or it's where high pressure meets low pressure and causes it. But
Yeah.
go on YouTube and search sky trumpets, right? Anyone who's out there who's listening, who's watching this back, and see how much these sky trumpets sound like the thing from War of the Worlds. It scares the life out of me. It really does. It's proper spooky.
Yeah.
It is really bad. Oh, I don't know. But I mean, it's been kicking off a bit. I mean, we're in the age of Aquarius now, so it's in the age of where man and woman are supposed to enlighten, aren't we? We're halfway through. Well, not halfway. We're at the start trimester of Aquarius. I mean, with regards to that, I think the world is waking up. I mean, what's your take on it, Lou? What do you think? Do you think the paranormal world is changing? People are starting to wake up?
It's coming back round again, isn't it? It's like all things, they seem to go in circles. Like you go back in time and everyone was like into spirituality with their religions and with like the daily lives, and then it kind of all progressed to being sort of, you know, the technological age. And now people are kind of going back towards nature, to the natural elements, and becoming more spiritual again.
Yeah. I mean, pagan seems to be on the rise, or as others like to call it, the heathens. But yeah, I mean, I agree with that 100%. Like, it seems so much more acceptable nowadays. You said about things traveling in circles. I mean, a great example of things traveling in circles. When I was born in the 80s, right? I'm not giving away my age, but when I was born in the 80s, dungarees and tie-dye t-shirts were the height of fashion, right? Now we're in 2022, everyone's wearing dungarees and tie-dye t-shirts. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It all goes round in one big circle. I'm going for the tie-dye t-shirts, and I'm going to go for the short dungarees because I'm different to everybody else.
Nice.
Me and Ben and you, we always talk about circle, the infinite ring. It plays a major part in any part of the paranormal, occultology, even demonology. I mean, I see you put up that post the other day with the Enochian stuff as well, which was quite cool. Yeah. I couldn't read it for crap. I was just like,
I put the English underneath.
I sound like Joe when a toddler first starts talking. Yeah, but even that, I couldn't even read that. That was terrible. But yeah, I mean, the circle is a major symbol in anything to do with the power. I mean, everything. It's all to do with balance. You know, I'm a massive believer in the old yin and yang stuff. You know, you've got to have balance, good and evil, light and dark, push and pull. I think it was Sir Isaac Newton that said, for every force that pushes, there's a parallel force that pulls, and it's matched. Ben talks about it when he talks about all of his. When he goes into his scientific mode, where he puts his glasses on and he sort of starts talking about neutrons and atoms.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everything has to be balanced in the world.
Yeah.
Everything just has to have that sort of balance to it. And I think with the paranormal now, with it becoming more acceptable, I think to myself that maybe for the universe to balance itself out, I think it's going to sort of, I don't know, become more acceptable at the same time. While it's going that way, become more of a taboo subject.
Yeah, because probably going to have... Yeah, you're going to have your certain people on... It's all right. You're going to have your certain people who are kind of stuck, blinkered in the like, no, this is how things are. This is what we've got. We see... What we see here before us is what there is. There is nothing outside of it. And you're always going to get those people who will be there to like counteract the people that are a bit more open-minded.
Well, when I'm saying about the balance becoming more of a taboo subject, I've noticed as well a lot more of people sort of like coming out of that paranormal band and sort of branching into the occultology, the demonology, angels and that, and sort of almost taboo in the sense of ditching the religious side of the way spiritualism has always been, because you've always had the SNC, the Spiritual Nationalist Church, and I'm not sitting there saying that they don't know what they're doing. They have their own way of doing things, but I think people are, for instance, the only way I can describe it is John Dee and Aleister Crowley are getting massive now. Everyone knows who they are.
Yeah.
When we first started doing all this sort of stuff, like me, you and Ben, no one knew who the hell he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Only people who'd actually looked specifically into things, not in everyday conversation.
Yeah. It seems like Crowley, John Dee, who's the psychologist that had his own mental problems? Oh, Carl Jung, that's it. Even down to Carl Jung, people are more sort of branching out from the fact of, we're going to find spirits, we're going to investigate the paranormal into the sense of why. That's what I mean by a taboo subject. People are asking that why question that no one's ever really asked before. You know, why do we have spirits? Why do they haunt? And I find a lot of the time now, I don't know if you're getting this a lot on your end, but people are coming to the conclusion of, without putting the pun in, the other dimensions that are out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See what I did there? You see what I did there?
I saw you did that. Very clever, very good. Oh my God.
We done it. Well, you heard it here first, right? We was the first ones jumping on the other dimension. But anyway, we're not even going to go there. But I mean, when I was growing up, when I was doing all the paranormal investigating, I mean, I thought you and Ben have been doing it for a long time as well. It was all about, spirits are. Do you remember the old story? Spirits are in limbo. They're here because they have unfinished business.
Yeah.
They are hearing visitation or residual energies. I find people nowadays sort of floating over to the sense of maybe this is a real person living in a separate dimension to ours, and it's their vibrations or it's more on an energy level now, more than a spiritual level. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
I've heard that. Yeah, it's just the whole area of the unknown, isn't it? That people need to actually research into more. You get people, you go out there, have a bit of fun and do this, that and the other, but then you also need like the other side that take it a bit more seriously, that can try and do the research on the more scientific level. Like Ben always brings science into it, doesn't he? How like science and the paranormal, they're not separate, they do come hand in hand. And if you do like research through the scientific methods, then you might be able to find the answers for your spiritual questions.
100%. Couldn't agree more. Science always goes hand in hand with the paranormal. Okay, it's explained to us as a supernatural phenomena, something that's beyond nature. But it's also, science is beyond nature. I mean, look at the development of antibiotics. Look at the development of the God particle, where they have there we go, back again. As I was saying, like science is beyond nature itself. The way science is, because it takes what nature is and it explains it and breaks it down into like a sort of an explainable way. We see a tornado or a hurricane as a force of nature. Science is able to explain why they occur, why they happen. Okay, but back in the day,
it's scary.
Sumerians, Vikings, they didn't know what it was. They just knew big wind.
The gods doing something.
Science allows. Yeah, exactly. But nowadays, it's got to a point where science is able to explain why these occur. They're able to predict it, not so quickly, but they're able to predict when it's going to happen. Is it going to get to that place with the paranormal? Are we going to be able to predict what places are haunted, when those hauntings are going to occur based on... I mean, we always had like that sort of thing where people go there, if you get a spike in the EMF fluctuation, something might happen. If you get a drop in temperature, something might happen. If you get that sort of electricity feel where your hair stands up on the back of your neck, then something might happen. But is it going to get to the point with science, when we start getting science involved and people allow science to become involved, where we're able to predict when they're going to happen or how they're going to happen? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. If you've got like your scientific implements in place that are able to like predict sort of where a spirit's going to like kind of come through, appear, try and interact, all different things that can happen. But at the moment, I think that it's not taken seriously enough, like the science and the paranormal at the moment, for having actual serious study of it. Because I think people might think, people who are into the paranormal, they're a bit, away with the fairies kind of thing. And but you don't always talk to people and say, I'm going out, I'm going to like contact spirits and stuff, and you'll get some strange looks. Like, you know, they do think you're a bit odd. So I think once
I agree.
And the research is done, then who knows where, like, you know, in 20, 30 years, who knows what findings will have come forth.
Exactly. There could be confirmation that spirits exist. There'd be confirmation. We could even get to the point where they do discover. And I mean, obviously, there's it's written out there. There's something out there that have gone out. I've had books where people
Damon.
said, "Oh, there's 10 other dimensions." There's
Damon's frozen. Damon, are you coming back? I can't hear you, and your screen's frozen, and he's gone off. Oh, he's back, and he's frozen. Looks like he's picking his nose.
It's definitely my end. Yes, I apologise. I'm not picking my nose.
It looks like you're picking your nose.
I think I'm back now. I should be back now. I hope I'm back now. Goddamn internet! I tell you, we live in an age where you can Skype someone from across the world, and yet you can't stream a show on Facebook or YouTube without getting disconnected. It's crazy.
I know.
It's just absolutely nuts. So yeah, I mean, where was we in the conversation? Yeah, so yeah, like I was saying, like we might get to a point now. There's been a lot of books written out there about people talking about, you know, there's 10 other dimensions, there's this dimension, there's that dimension. We are the highest level of hell, lowest level of heaven. There's loads of stuff written out there about it. So maybe, yeah, like you said, in 20, 30 years' time, we might get to a point where they're able to predict things before they happen, or they're able to confirm that we are in contact with people from opposite dimensions or things like that. But I think the problem is nowadays, the reason why we haven't got to that point yet is because people are still turning to that supernatural rather than science sort of way of proving the existence. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, things just need to.
I think it's. Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's a major problem. People need to understand that it's like cutting a birthday cake. It's the only way I can just like describe this, right? It's like cutting a birthday cake, yeah? If you want a decent bit of birthday cake, you get a knife. If you want to cut it a bit better, you'll get a sharper knife. You're not going to use your hands to cut a birthday cake. So any tool that you can use in your arsenal...
Have the whole cake.
Any tool. Yeah. Just get a spoon. Don't even go with the knife. Just go straight for the spoon. I mean, any tool that you can use to help you to prove what you are feeling, prove what you are seeing, it shouldn't be ruled out. I mean, Lou, you've done a lot of stuff with divination. Like I've seen it on the channel and things like that. Now, there's a massive amount of people out there that go, divination is a load of crap. It's all person-based. It's all down to auto-suggestion or involuntary muscle movements. Now, me personally, I think divination works. I've seen it work so many times. I've seen so much proof of it.
I think, well, it depends what you're using, really, because obviously if you're using the pendulum, then people can say, oh, yeah, that's your involuntary muscle movements. And that's why we try and, like, my brain's gone. Try and stop things. I can't speak. Hang on. I'm having a Ben moment. My brain's gone. How I say like wrap it over your finger, the chain over your finger, because obviously you've got your pulse that is there in your tips, and that can, if you're holding the chain in your fingertips, then that can cause it. Whereas if you've got it wrapped over your finger, then that's less likely to happen. So it's all about trying to sort of eliminate the personal input. But where you've got other forms of divination, like when you're staring into a mirror, or you're staring into water, or into a flame, you're not touching that. You're just letting your mind relax and seeing what images, what sounds come to you. It's like when you're out on an investigation. If you're like a sensitive or a medium, you'll get into like the zone and you'll just see what information comes to you. You're not necessarily doing anything, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm going to try and move to get a better signal, so just bear with me. So, let's see if we can move out of the way. So, yeah, no, I mean, I understand what you're saying. Now, when you was talking about looking into the water or the mirror or the flames, now, see, I've had arguments with people about this when it comes to that form of divination, because it's point of view based, isn't it? So it's what that person sees or what that person feels, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all very personal to the person actually doing it.
I say to these people, what I say to these people as well, if you're talking about divination in the sense of a point of view or perspective of divination, what I say to them is like, sit down and experience it for yourself. Sit down and actually have a go yourself. And if you're experiencing what that person is telling you they're experiencing, and you're having a shared experience, then it allows you to sort of come down to that level and be able to express that, yeah, maybe that form of divination does work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hi, Annette.
I mean, oh, hi, Annette. How you doing? I don't rule out anything, all right? Apart from mobile phone apps, I don't think they work. I think they're terrible, right? But yeah, even some of the evidence that's come up on mobile phone apps, I've seen evidence from them, and they're compelling. They make you go, wow, okay, wow, that's really, really good. But see, I have a biased opinion when it comes to mobile phone apps. You know that. I don't think they work. So there you go.
The best way to test your mobile phone app is to get a helpful spirit and just say to them, will you try and say something through this? If you can hear them, or Ben can hear them, like actually saying something, and it comes through the app, then it works. I've had someone trying to use an app on my phone, one of the spirits here, and he's got that frustrated with it. The only thing that managed to actually come through was a scream of frustration as he flipped the app inside out and back to front on my screen and made it crash. That one did not work. But other ones I've had some decent results with, and yeah, the spirits here have actually said things through it. So it's like, well, that one, there must be something in it on that one. So I do use that one now and again because it can be quite good. And I've been on an investigation and we'd had that app running, but I was also using the copper rods, and we were asking questions, and the rods were giving an answer, and the answer itself was coming through also on the app. So if you've got sort of confirmation like that, that's not too bad. But I do agree, a lot of the apps are just garbage.
See, the problem with the mobile phone apps, the reason why I have a problem is, and I'm probably going to get slammed to crap after the show, right? But the problem I have is the other sort of equipment that's used, EVP, voice recorders, EMF detectors, copper rods, pendulums. These are all forms of spirit communication that have been tried and tested over the years, or modern equipment that has been manipulated for a purpose.
Yeah.
When it comes to a mobile phone, any app based on a mobile, it's not manipulating for a purpose. It's entertainment. Anything on a mobile phone is entertainment. You can get a YouTube app and watch documentaries. You can get a game on your mobile phone. I just don't see the technology behind it. That's where my problem lies. But I'm slightly biased, but I don't know.
It's a nice idea if they do work, but a lot, like I say, a lot of them, they just don't. They just sorry.
I don't think they do. I'm in 100% agreement. Right, we're going to go to a quick short ad break, and me and Lou will be back afterwards, and we'll carry on our conversation. So bear with us, guys, and don't go anywhere.
Slate and Bone, the one-stop shop for all your slate art and bespoke paranormal crafts, with a full range of designs and one-off crafts. Why not treat that special someone? Visit now. Search Slate and Bone on Facebook, and listeners of the show get a special discount. So quote the other dimension when ordering. So once again search Slate and Bone on Facebook and get yourself or someone something special.
Be Paranormal Equipment, the #1 place for all your paranormal gadgets, from RAM pods to laser alarms to SLS cameras, shipped straight to your door. Visit on Facebook, just search for B.Paranormal Equipment and place your order. And listeners of The Other Dimension get a further 20% discount. Just let them know that you're a listener. So what are you waiting for?
Welcome back, everybody. We're back on the other side. Don't forget, guys, head over to Slate and Bone. Some big things happen over there. Festival of the Unexplained. I know they're still a sponsor of the show. I'm not sure if it's happened yet or not. I think it's March sometime.
Yeah, Damon, it was last weekend.
So if you missed it, there was a little reminder that what you missed.
Check out their page on Facebook. They put photos up and apparently it was really good.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have other festivals coming up, so it's definitely
they've got the one-day event coming up.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming up in a couple of weeks, I think. That's the one at Tewkesbury.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great little festival to check out. I mean, head over there, quote the show. The guys will hit you up with a deal. Same as Slate and Bone. Also going to be adding some more sponsors on there. I've got Daygate Artistry, which is my website's going to be going on there soon. Yeah, man, we've got some big things coming. Ben and Lou have been working hard behind the scenes here at The Other Dimension. We've got some big things in the pipeline. So, yeah, I mean, it's going well. It's going well. Also, we're going to be back on Pulse soon. Bear with us on that one. Once the laptop decides to get its arse in gear, then it will be working. So, who knows? But, yeah, I mean, we was talking before we went for the ad break, we was talking about using the tools that we have for our arsenal when we're investigating. Now, everyone has their own opinion, and it's great to sort of have you here without Ben, because it's great to get your opinion without him sort of like inviting in. So, when you go out investigating, Lou, what are your go-to bits of equipment that you would say to the listeners out there? Look, try it this way, do it with this, you get results, sort of thing.
I always go with my pendulum. That's the first thing I always put in my pocket, my pendulum.
Yeah.
Second thing is my torch, which flicks between white, green, and red, because depending on where you are, it's handy to have a different colour because it picks up different things and it's a little less harsh. Not so good if you're doing a live, especially the red one. The red one, if you're filming live, doesn't show up that brilliantly your location. But if you're there in person, it's pretty good. That and my book. Ben.
Oh,
got to say
he
my
has
book.
such an influence. He has such an influence on everybody.
Yeah. He'd tell me off if I went out without my book. Oh, and I also take along like usually my little black mirror as well.
What I was going to say to you, actually, Lou, do you remember that investigation that you and Ben went to live? I think it was with Mystics, where you was in those tunnels. Can't remember.
Yeah.
How far is that from you?
That's not too far. About 20
I'm
minutes.
thinking of. I'm going to arrange at some point in the year, maybe when it's summer, like bringing the team down, Truth Collective down, and we'll come down and do an investigation there and broadcast it live here on the Other Dimension with you guys.
Yeah.
I think that'd be quite a laugh, actually.
Yeah.
It'd be quite cool. Quite cool.
Yeah.
Go on,
I was going to say that was the one that I was doing live with Mystics, but then Ben was also live on the show, wasn't he? Is that the one you're on about? Yeah.
Yeah, Ben was doing the running commentary, and he kept like pulling people over for interview, and then you was like, Ben, for God's sake, I'm trying to investigate here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good place. That is always best to go there in the summer though, because of where it is. You walk along a footpath, and it does get quite boggy if it's been raining. So definitely a summer location.
Oh yeah, definitely a summer location. Yeah, I mean, I see someone put up a history of Codner Castle the other day as well. I was reading that. Now, Ben's promised me to show me the one that turns the lights on and off. So if I do come down, I want to see the old the man who turns the lights on and off or whatever. He said Elemental or something. I think he was saying.
Yeah. Don't know if it's still there. Hopefully he is. Who knows? Because they're doing all sorts of work up there. They might have just got bored and left. Or they might just be having more fun with the builders.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I used to go out investigate, like each one of the members of the team, they all had their own little thing, like that they used to sort of go to, like because my team, we're a family-based team, so it's all family members. So, for instance, like my dad was a photographer, the world's biggest skeptic, but he was a photographer, and he got some amazing. And all he used to take was a camera.
Yeah.
All he used to take was a camera, and he used to get some of the most amazing pictures. But he'd get a picture and he'd go, "Oh look, can you see that? Yeah, that's just dust orb." Or he'd go, "That's nothing." And you'd go, "Oh, Dad, come on, seriously, you got some really." And my mum collects Ouija boards. She always goes with a Ouija board. She loves using them on investigation. See, my go-to thing, I just used to like walking in the dark by myself.
Yeah.
I like. I don't know if you ever have it when you walk into like a sort of anywhere that's sort of haunted, or you just get that feeling. You know what I mean? It's almost that feeling that you're not alone, but you have that sort of electric static energy feeling.
Yeah.
I just love that feeling. It's addictive. It's highly addictive when you get that sort of scared adrenaline rush. So whereas other members of my team, they used to go with EMF meters or EVP recorders. I mean, my brother who used to run the team with me, he loved the CCTV. We always used to go back on the CCTV, and we done an investigation once at, I think it was Harwich Redoubt Fault, and we caught some amazing orbs that. Don't know them sort of orbs where you can go, okay, then maybe they're dust, but they sort of move off their own accord, and they're different colours and that. You think, wow, like crazy. But what I'm trying to get at is you've got to use every tool in your arsenal, and a lot of the bickering that's going on between teams at the moment now is always because people are going, oh, you shouldn't be using this, you should be using this, or you shouldn't be using this, you should be using this. And I think whatever tool you use, it's only going to help. You know, like you said, don't go in there provoking spirits. And mine and Ben's golden rule: you don't go in there and tell them, "Do you know that you're dead?" So that's the one thing you don't do. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, and sage. Don't use sage.
Don't use sage. Don't use sage. Don't tell them you're dead. Don't say, "Fight me."
Yeah, exactly. Have you ever been on an investigation with Lou where you've actually felt unsafe?
Not really, because I'm always with Ben. No, there was one time that I felt a bit like, well, am I going to get eaten? I mentioned this before. I can't remember if it was on this show or a different show, but it's when we're in the Forest of Dean and you've got all the stories of like the wild boars and stuff. And it just gone midnight, and me and Ben were the only ones around this fire. And suddenly we heard a big crash. And we're like, what's that? And there was another really bigger crash. It's like, even Ben got up, he's like, we need to go. I was like, okay, what is it? And he's just like, I don't know. I was just like, am I being chased by a boar, or is it something like of the spiritual realm, or what? And that was the only time I was worried because, I'd rather, if he'd have told me, oh, it's something from the other side, it's something big, we need to get out, that's fine. But he didn't tell me. He just had me panicking that I was going to get eaten. That's the only time I've been worried on an investigation.
I had one time, we was at Pluckley Screaming Woods, which is so in Essex. It's world renowned for paranormal teams. As soon as you walk in there, you hear a scream. Funny enough, that night we went there, we heard a scream as soon as we walked into the woods, which was quite ironic. I found it quite funny. But we was doing a seance and was holding hands and that, and it was almost like I fell asleep. It felt to me like I fell asleep. Like I wasn't there anymore. I was unconscious, or my subconscious kicked in. And I remember coming round in a bush, and I was honestly, it sounds like a drunken night out, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
I come around in a bush, and the panic on the team members and the public's face was crazy. So I'd gone under for an hour and a half, and I'd run off into this forest on my own. And it was the one time where I've actually been worried, because when I come round and found out what had happened, I thought to myself, like, what if I would have run somewhere and hurt myself or gone missing? Pluckley Woods is massive. It's there are times where you do get worried. I mean, as much as having the experience that like me, you and Ben have, there are times when you do sort of get worried. I mean, I've been on investigations where something's come along and I don't know what I'm dealing with. Out to Jeanette Bean, how you doing?
Hi, Jeanette.
There's been times where I was like, I don't know what I'm dealing with here. I need to go back and research this and come back. I mean, has there been times when you've gone somewhere and you've seen or felt something, and you've gone, I really don't know what I'm doing right now?
That's when I look to Ben. Should I be worried? Do I need to do anything? And if he looks worried, then I'm worried. But if he's just like, oh, it's okay, it's just like, right then, tell me what's going on. There was the time, actually, Jeanette was there with me. We were up at Annesley near us, and I'd gone off, left the group and gone for a little wander myself to see what I could feel, if I could pick up anything. And I got to a certain part, and as soon as you sort of stepped closer to it, you're like curious to step closer, but as soon as you step closer, you just have a feeling of sort of dread over you, and it's just like, I don't want to go any closer. I can't go any closer. It just feels like, when it's just all in you, just to be like, get away from that, and it's just, you just feel it tight in you. So I went and got Jeanette and pulled her over and said, what do you feel here? And she was just like, oh, and she felt it as well. Just so I knew it wasn't me. Just drag Jeanette along as well. It's like, here, do you feel this feeling of dread and discomfort? Yes, I do. Okay, then let's move away from here, shall we?
It's crazy when you think about it. When you get in that scenario, I'm always trying to make points. That's the problem. The point I'm trying to make is that with the paranormal, the supernatural, the occult, demons, dimensional beings, UFOs, anything like that, you're not going to know exactly what you're dealing with every single time. And
no.
It's something where your equipment and knowing your limits as well, that's another thing. Knowing your limits, knowing that what's happening to you at that given point in time is something that you need to step away from. I've been on so many investigations with other teams where they don't know what they're dealing with, and they've got themselves into a scenario because they won't step away. They seem to think if they keep pushing and pushing and pushing that they're going to get that evidence that they need, but they don't realise the dangers behind it. And this is another point that I've seen that people are arguing about online on Facebook and places like that, where paranormal teams are like, well, you should be doing this, or you should be doing that, you should be doing this. At the end of the day, it's down to your own personal feeling and your own personal belief in that scenario. If you feel like you can handle what you're dealing with, then you deal with it. If you can't, don't be scared to step away and just be safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think some people, particularly the ones that, are trying to do it all for like the stars and the likes and things like that, and they feel like they've got to push forward, they've got to show like bravado and stuff. And it's just like, if your body's telling you to get out and go, because your body's sensing something, your mind's sensing something. You can't necessarily see what's going off there, but if your body's telling you to get away, don't try and push through it. best to be on the safe side.
And when you was talking about stars and things like that, I think what the problem is with that is that, don't get me wrong, there are some really good paranormal things out there that give you stars. Just for some examples, Exploring the Afterlife, they're very, very, very good at what they do. But I find there are some teams out there that are going for stars, going for likes, going for views and stuff like this, where they're actually pushing. And I'm not saying that they're intentionally faking what they're doing, but we all know with the paranormal field, intention is a massive part. If you have good intentions, then you're going to get good things. If you have bad intentions, you get bad things. And I find that some teams, especially when they're pushing for stars and likes and views and trying to be the new most haunted, say for instance, they will push to the point where subconsciously they're picking up things that are not there. You know, I'm not saying that they're intentionally faking, because they're not. I would never turn around to a team and say you're faking what you're getting. I would, but I wouldn't. I'm not that sort of person. But I think it's almost like there's a psychological theory out there where it's like the age of story. If you believe in something enough, it will come true in your mind. You will almost you'll almost like create your own reality based on your belief system.
Like there's certain music that can get played, and people believe that a certain music gets played, it'll increase negative activity and stuff like that, and they'll play it and they're like, oh, I can feel the atmosphere has changed and everything. It's like, no, the atmosphere has not changed. It's just subconsciously in your mind it believes it's changed because you've been told that this music will make this thing happen, so you're already believing it's happening because of the music that's played, where actually nothing's happened.
100%. You also got like you're saying, auto-suggestion was always a massive point. If I've got a team with me and I'm going into the woods, and before we go into the woods or before we go into an important location, I turn around and go, oh, I read up the history of this place and there's supposed to be witches here. What is the guarantees that these people are going to get cackles or snarls, or they're going to pick up on burning of sage smells and all this sort of thing? Like saying someone, good old sage, or if you turn around and say to someone, I believe there's demonic activity here, they will start to get scratched. They will start to smell.
You're planting the seed in their heads, aren't you?
Exactly. And there's also that theory of infrasound as well. Like you said about people playing certain music, that music might have an infrasound undertone, and that's what's causing them to feel these things.
Yeah, but what can you do? Leave them to it. They're doing it more for entertainment, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's two types of people in the paranormal world, and if you are watching this back and you're a team, you need to ask yourself this question. And this is not just me and my opinion. This is something that a lot of hardcore researchers, i.e. like Ben himself, Cal Cooper, the Warren Foundation, they'll all back me up in this. I mean, I'm going on a podcast in April with some guys who are doing amazing things in the paranormal. And they agreed with me when I brought this point up when I went on their podcast the first time. There's two types of people in the paranormal world. There are those that are hardcore and those that are entertainment. The hardcore guys go out there and they do it for the research. They do it for the information. They do it to sit there and... Big shout out to AJ. How you doing? They sit there and they do it for selfish reasons, in the sense of they want to know more. But then you've got the people that do it for the entertainment. They do it because they want people to watch their stream. They want people to realise that they're the best team.
They might create a story as well.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to remember, in the paranormal field nowadays, the way it's going nowadays, it's a lot more popular. When I started back in the day, you had to buy a ticket to experience it. When I was started, you had to go with a team, or you had to have a team yourself. And there weren't many about when I first started. Nowadays, you can join in a paranormal investigation from the comfort of your own armchair. You have the screenshots, people screenshot things that they've seen, or you have spiritualist mediums that are able to, I think the words transverse themselves into the investigation from their own armchair, because they can see what they see on the screen. Now, I've had debates over this, and at first, I didn't believe it can work. Now I do. I've seen it happen, and I do think it can happen. But yeah, I mean, the entertainment people, they have to understand is like, I mean, I don't know. When I first started with Paranormal Field, it was all about credibility. If you went into a location and you went, I'm not getting anything, there's nothing happening here, we're going home, a lot of the public will be like, yeah, no, cool, these guys, their credibility is good, you know. But nowadays it's like, got to get the best location, we've got to go to the best places, we've got to get the best. It's not about being the best, it's about research, it's about learning, it's about a spiritual journey more than anything else.
No, and it's also about, you'll go to a location, you'll get certain, like, maybe names and events through, either through your equipment or through any mediums that are there or that are there watching, because I love it that you can sort of watch one live from your own home and you can still get involved with it, and it's great fun. But I think after the investigation, if you do research on the location as much as you can to see if you can validate any of like the names, the events, any dates, I think that's important as well, because then it lets your viewers know that, oh, what they've picked up on, it actually happened, or there was an actual person there at the time, and it just adds a bit more of the credibility that you're on about before.
Yeah, I think when with paranormal teas nowadays as well, and I know I'm being a bit bitchy in that, I think that validation's a big thing. I think people need to ask questions. It needs to be something where you sort of question what you're seeing. And also, paranormal teams have to be sort of, I'm trying to think of the word. It's almost like, that's it. You have to be self-critical. So the evidence that you're getting, if you can explain it away in a natural sense. So for instance, you're hearing sounds and you can go, oh, it's just wood creaking where it's getting hot and cold, or you're seeing orbs, but you realise the place is very dusty. If you're self-critical and you're able to pick them things up, when you do get that piece of evidence where you can't explain it away, it makes it more credible in itself.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you said about validation.
Yeah, it's good, because anyone can see like, oh, there's an orb happening there and stuff, and they'll pass it off as being like, oh, it's spiritual activity. But if you're like, actually, no, there's too many orbs happening there, that's because this person's just moved here and they've just sent up a load of dust and stuff. But then when you do get, say, an actual orb that's like you said, ones that different colors, or like if it's pulsating, then it's like, that's actually happened. We can kind of class that more as actual evidence.
Yeah, definitely, 100% agree with that. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some really, really great teams out there. Just to name off the top of my head, I mean, I know that Kathy works with MPI. They're really, really good at what they do. Yvonne's team. And
Matrix.
Yvonne? Yeah, Yvonne. Yeah,
Matrix,
Yeah, massive things. I've seen some of their stuff. It's brilliant. I mean, Bonnie goes to like cemeteries and goes and looks around the cemeteries and reads the headstones and stuff like that. I mean, people sit there and go, that's really morbid. I think that's really cool. You know, I think it's really cool. Who else? Exploring the Afterlife. They do some really, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. I mean, who was I watching the other day? I was watching one the other day. I can't remember their names, but they were massive, and they were just pulling this. That this medium there was pulling stuff in, and it was just kicking off, and it was great. It was great.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, it wasn't so much. The medium wasn't doing all the information work. The information was coming through on a voice box. You know, they were just using, instead of using the medium to get information, they was using the medium to bring in the energies.
Yeah.
And then allowing the energies to express themselves through the voice box. And I've never seen that before. Yeah. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. That's a really good way to do things.
Yeah, I mean, having a medium on the team can be like really helpful, but you don't want them to take over. You don't want them to make it all about themselves, like being, I'm the medium, I'm getting this, I'm getting that, because it becomes like the medium show. Whereas there's the rest of the team, and they've all got different, like you're on about earlier, with different attributes that they bring to the team. And say, like, have the medium pick up bits of information, but if you can get the spirits there to use the equipment, whether it's flashing a cat ball, whether it's talking through one of the Brain's gone again. One of the pieces of equipment anyway, like an EVP, then make it keep it more about the team.
100%. I couldn't agree more with that. I mean, AJ's just said, well said, Lou. Vonnie and I were only on about that yesterday, orbs, etc. I mean, we spoke about orbs on the show before. Me and Ben, we're in the same boat. I think you're in the same boat as well, Lou, when it comes to orbs. They've got to create their own light source. Refraction or reflection of light cannot be deemed as an orb or a spirit manifestation, because spirits are made up of electronic and magnetic energy. They would be creating their own light source. So whenever I get sent videos to look at when it comes to paranormal hauntings or anything like that, the first thing I do is run it through a filter to see if it's generating its own light source. The first thing I do, because if it's generating its own light source, then it's its own burst of energy. It's not receiving energy or help from any other sort of light source or any other energy that's around at the time. Because we both know that when you go on an investigation, if somewhere has a high concentration of EMF or a high concentration of infrasound, it's more than likely that causing the paranormal activity and not spirits themselves.
Yeah.
But I mean, all I can say is for the teams out there, guys, like, if you're doing what you're doing, don't get downtrodden or disheartened because people are telling you you're not doing the right thing. I've always been taught throughout my life, if people are going to hate on you and people are going to sit there and criticize you, then you're doing something right.
Well, they're watching you, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. They're watching you, and B, jealousy comes in many different forms. If you are a team out there and you are doing things and you are getting criticised, carry on. Because at the end of the day, you do what you do best and you will get the evidence you need, you know? So that's the way I look at it anyway. That's the way I've been looking at it. And as much as all the bickering's going on Facebook at the moment, people just have to understand that people do things in their own way. When me, you and Ben go out for investigation, it won't be a bog standard investigation like people watching online. It's going to be very different. You know, we're going to bring the occult side and the demonology side into it. It's going to be a completely different investigation, you know, but it doesn't mean you criticise. You learn,
like,
you know. So,
you investigate differently for different circumstances. Like
100%.
I investigate for a Facebook Live, I'll investigate differently, use different equipment than I would do for a personal investigation. Like for a Facebook Live, your viewers need to see something. So by having the equipment there, like, don't set it all out in one go because that's just too much, but just set up like bits that, you know, the viewers can see sort of the spiritual interaction. Whereas the more of a personal one, you wouldn't use so much of like the flashy stuff. That's just me personally anyway.
No,
you
I agree.
For different circumstances.
Yeah. And I think being adaptable as a team is something that also people need to understand. I'm going to be doing a series on paranormal investigation, how to do it as a team, whether you're going to be solely based as a team or you're going to take public. Just for teams out there, if they want to watch it and they want to pick up some pointers. I learned a lot along the way. I mean, I've been doing this now, demonology-wise, I've been doing this for 8 years, paranormal investigation, probably about 13, 14 years. So the way I look at it, if I can give you guys a bit of information, it'd be cool. I mean, Ben's got his lectures lined up. That's going to be happening soon here on the Other Dimension. I think Lou's going to be doing some divination via the Other Dimension page. So, I mean, this is what I'm trying to get at. All these tools are being given to you for you to take your investigations to a new level. Here in the Other Dimension, we don't try to hold information back and go, oh, it's our information. We want it. We want it. We want you guys to express yourselves and learn from us. And we will learn from you. Every day's school day. You've got to learn from everybody. That's the way it's got to be, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like when I say when I'm doing my my divination things, I say it's just trial and error. You've got to have a go, find out what works best for you. I don't just sit there and say, oh, this is how you do it. Watch me. It's like, this is an idea. Here's another idea. Have a go at home.
Yeah.
You know, this is just like the basic background info I'm giving you. Go off, try it, have fun.
Exactly. But when we come to the end of the show, guys, my first time back, hopefully we're joined by Ben next week. And we're going to have Lou here again. You guys are on Sunday, I think, aren't you?
Yeah. We carry on with the occult history and science. Ben's continuing looking through his tables book, I think it is, because he's taking it quite slow going through that because there's so much information. But he's also going to be looking briefly at the keys as written by Dr. John Dee, because I touched on that yesterday. So Ben's issuing another warning. Gonna talk about that briefly.
That's cool. What time's that on a Sunday?
7:30.
Right, guys, so make sure you look into that one, 7:30 here on the Other Dimension on Sunday. That one should be being broadcast on YouTube as well. If you want to head over and find our YouTube channel, head over to youtube.com. Just type the Other Dimension there in the search bar. We need to hit 100 likes, 100 subscribes. So like and subscribe to videos. Once we hit 100, we can have our own URL, so we'll be able to put it up there on the chat. For everyone that's been locked in tonight, thank you very much for joining us in tonight. It's been a great conversation with Lou.
For a change.
It's nice. It's nice to have a little change up. I'm back for a little while now. Hopefully, I'm back for a little while longer. All depends on what's going on behind the scenes with me. Don't know. See what happens. I'll let Ben know what's going on because it's, But yeah. He'll probably have. To be honest with you, he'll probably have a go at me, but I don't care. But yeah, I mean, we're going to be live again. Don't forget, catch us here every Friday, 7 till 8 p.m. We're going to line some big guests up, and yeah, things are going well. So make sure you lock in on Sunday, 7:30, Occult and Science with Ben and Lou. I'm hoping to bring Carpool back. I might bring Carpool back. I'm not sure yet, but might bring that back. But yeah, we've got some big things going on. I'm going to arrange with Ben and Lou about doing a live investigation here on the Other Dimension, so you can see the way that we guys work, along with Truths Collective as well, hopefully coming down for that one. But yeah, I think it's been a great conversation tonight, Lou.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, it's been good. Right, guys, we're out of here. Don't forget, it's all about the Other Dimension. Big things coming. We're out of here. I'll take it easy, guys. Speak to you soon.
Bye.
See you later.